Hey everyone, so as you can tell, we're in the office at home, and one of the things that we know is going to happen with all the effects of the coronavirus and everything else that's going on here in the Halifax is guaranteed it's going to slow down. We know, based on the end of February, that we were in a crazy good seller's market. But I did some quick stats yesterday and actually had a look at some of the numbers, because my curiosity now is like, well, okay, with all of the restrictions now, not on jobs, with people losing those jobs, with people being made redundant, with buyers basically looking at the marketplace and going, okay, do I want to go and look at houses now? You've got to use this stuff, as well as all sorts of other precautions about looking at a house. How is that going to affect the market? And that's the one thing I did. So when I wrote my numbers down yesterday, and this was yesterday, I looked at this, today's the 24th, Tuesday, this was Monday, we had 1,162 active properties. 327 as of yesterday were actually listed as sold. So that means gone through buyer conditional stage, marked as sold, is going to close just at a future date. So we're even stripping out anything that's conditional, because I think what's going to happen is a lot of those conditional properties could end up becoming back active again, because I think we're going to see a lot of people pulling the finance condition on their agreements because they've been laid off. They don't qualify for financing anymore, or even that they're just like so uncertain of their job possibilities going forwards that they're saying, look, I don't know whether I'm going to have a job. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to afford the mortgage payments, et cetera, et cetera. So they're basically pulling on that basis more than any other condition. So given we had 1162 active and there were 327 sold, that puts us at 3.5 months of inventory. That's still a seller's market, but that's 1.2 months more as a inventory mark than was there on February. So given that that was only 23 days in, and obviously there's still a lot more properties that are currently conditional. In fact, there was another about 200 properties that were conditional. They are all possibly not going to be conditional. So therefore, that could rapidly put another 200 homes back onto the active market, which puts us at like 1,362 homes, which now puts the inventory back up to around about 4.3 months. So you see how like everything is changing for the Halifax market. And I certainly spoke to a lot of my clients, and one of the things that we were discussing with everybody was, do you list your house now? Do you wait? Do you buy a house now? Do you wait? And it is so dependent on everybody's individual circumstances that it really comes down to, what's your confidence level? Some people are like, well, if I list my house now, what are the precautions I'm going to have to take? Can I get a photographer? Do we do a virtual walkthrough and basically restrict all viewings to just that virtual walkthrough? That means then that there's a condition that goes in the agreement that says still actually have to walk through the property. So that's a factor for listing. For buyers, it's kind of both situations. It's the same as what I have just suggested, where some people are saying, I'm so uncertain about my job and my future income that I won't qualify for financing, therefore I'm out. Other people are like 100% here. I don't think you're going to have so much competition on properties because the buyer pool has been shrunk. Now, here's the key thing for listings. Those buyers haven't stopped buying. They've just stopped looking right now. What could happen is in about 2 months' time, when a lot of the world has returned into some semblance of what we'll call our new normal, what will happen is those buyers will come back, and they'll come back with a vengeance, because the appetite for owning a home here in Halifax, Nova Scotia has not changed. So those buyers haven't literally just stopped and said, that's it, we're done, we're out. They've just said, we've stopped for the next X number of months, and then they'll all come back again. So yeah, it's changed the Halifax market, and we were saying still going to be a seller's market throughout the rest of 2020. Maybe not so much now, but that's really what we're seeing. And it's going to be interesting to actually get to the end of March, which is in another week and a bit, week and one day, to see what really happens then. But you know, that's going to be one of those things that we are monitoring, we are watching. and we're going to see how it's all going to actually flow through to the system and what's going to happen to the real estate market, because it's all changed. Like, there is no doubt that it's going to be very different for the future as well. But there is definitely a pool of buyers that have stopped looking right now. They haven't stopped looking, period. They're just on pause. And when they come back to the marketplace and start looking again, we're going to have a huge demand for properties. So, you know, from a listing point of view, it's going to be up to your individual situation. Houses are still going conditional, because we do know that there are about 200 or so that are conditional right now. It would be interesting, actually. I'll go back and look on the system and see, well, okay, in the last, say, 12 days, what went conditional, because that will be the trick, to see exactly what was done over that particular time period. And that will give us a better idea for really what the market is feeling. Potentially even go back, even just the last probably 7 days would give us an idea. And if there's not many at all out of the population of 1,200 homes that are active, if there's only been like 50 that have gone conditional, then you know that it's going to be an interesting period going forward. So that's the quick update for March. Just wanted to get it out there so that people can get some real feel as to what's going on. And if you need any advice, just reach out and we'll have the conversation and see if we can give you some clarity on what we think the best situation is for you and your needs. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay quarantined or isolated if that's what you need to do.